Hi everybody, I'm Jennifer Tryon. Welcome to Brush Lettering Basics. This is class number 4. Don't sweat it if you haven't been practicing, but start now. The only way you're going to get better at lettering is if you're just constantly doodling it, thickening those downstrokes, and sort of just making a habit of developing the muscle memory. Whenever you're on the phone with someone and you know how you kind of doodle, that's when you can be practicing. When you're in the waiting room, when you are, I don't know, at your kids' whatever, or your grandkids' something, and you're waiting in the car. In your kit, you've got little notebooks and stuff. Just be practicing. It's literally the most portable craft you could possibly do, because you can literally use any writing medium, any paper, and just be practicing thickening the downstrokes. Okay, so far we have gone through our strokes. If you are just getting caught up now, you can go back to class number 1. We practiced our entry strokes. We were doing, thickening that downstroke. I'm not going to go through all of that because you can go back to the other classes. The transition strokes we need between letters. We practiced loops and circles. And then we went into letters and we went through all the alphabets. And then, of course, we last week were working on actual words. And I hope you pulled out your book and were practicing tracing and then practicing doing it on your own. Because often when you use different pens even, you'll get different results, even when you are tracing or trying to make it look just like they had there. Different pens will result in all kinds of different outcomes. So today it's our last official class, but I hope it's not the last time you pick up the stuff, because it really is kind of one of those lifelong things you can be working on all the time. I did promise last week that I would show you a little bit more about, if you have ever been in our Watercolor Wednesdays, or if you were wanting to get the watercolor set that comes with the water pen and an extra like eraser. It's got a blending palette in it, which allows you to mix mix the colors. I'll just leave it closed. There's a blending palette in here, and essentially what happens is these are all watercolor markers. And just like I've got down here, maybe I'll do it on this side and we can try it again, since I promised I'd show you how it works. So I know it's hard to see on the white paper, so I'll just grab a mat here. There we go. So if I was just writing the word, like, let's say we were doing, so I arched both of those, skinnier line across the middle, downstrokes were both thick, and I'm doing this on watercolor paper, a little bit of arch in the P, nice thin upstroke. Didn't do very well on my spacing here. The Y is going to get crowded. I should have done that, done a little better job. The H is a little too big, but whatever. I'm just showing you essentially what you can do with these markers on watercolor paper. And I know lots of you have that from our Watercolor Wednesdays, or you've gotten extras, is to go ahead and add some shading to your lettering just by pulling out. I wonder if we can, Amanda, do you know where to zoom there? You can add the shading right. Oh yeah, sure, yeah. See how it's sort of coming off there? Let me see if I can get even closer. Find it. It's hard to see on TV, and that's like particularly dark. Let's go on the overhead for just a second while I adjust this one. So I'm just going to make that a little bit later so we can see that how the water just, I mean, lots of you will know already. I'm just going to zoom right in here. Okay, let's see that shot now. 4? Yeah. Sometimes we're working on the fly here. But yeah, because these are all water markers, water-based markers, the Tombow markers are great for pulling out that extra color and just getting that shading, and not having to have another lighter colored pen. You can just use the actual marker itself and pull the color right out. Now, it does work a little better if the ink is wet. So if let's just do another line on the P there so you can see what I mean. It really pulls out right away then. So don't wait and go adjust your camera and then come back and do it. But you get what I mean here. So we'll put a link up for these, but this is a really great kit if anyone's wanting a few extra colors of the big markers. And today we're going to actually do a bit of spacing on like a print, you could frame it. I don't know if it's necessarily a wall hanging, but if you had a favorite quote or something like that. Amanda, do you have a favorite quote? Amanda's behind the camera here today, and I'm putting her on the spot. Be kind. So let's do a little be kind. But you get what I mean about bringing out the water for the shading. Cool, right? Yeah. And feel free to put a mic on if you want. Just turn on both of those blue mics, and then people can hear you. Okay, so let's do a little, I've got a piece of watercolor paper. Amanda wants us to do Be Kind. But also, if you notice, if you go to homemade.ca or in the emails that we've sent out to people who've registered, we have links to some free downloadable files. I've drawn a bunch of, different watercolor backgrounds that you can use. Some of them I've uploaded. A long while ago, I did a collection of brush lettering stuff. They're some of my drawings in this paper pad for Spectrum Noir. And they're all backdrops that you can use. Like these ones are all card size. So if you wanted to put happy birthday or someone's name across them, then you could. But Amanda likes Be Kind, so let's do a little Be Kind, and then maybe we'll put this in the store whenever we're down there, just to remind people, be kind. So you can print it on watercolor paper if you want. This is just, this one's on regular cardstock, so we can use our big pen, but it's important when you're doing something where you're going to lay out your words. Maybe I'd just do it on a regular one first, but that you take the time and start in pencil. And you're going to want to have a ruler. And right before we started, I went searching for my paper ruler, but I can only find my quilting rulers. So here they are. Whatever. That's fine. As long as it's a straight edge. And you do want to have a good white eraser. I strongly recommend white erasers. The little mono erasers from Tombow that are in your kit, that's exactly what I'm talking about, or some sort of white eraser, because they don't leave marks behind. They're really, really quite good. The other thing that's really good from Tombow is the sand. So if I took this off, you would see there's a split. This side of the eraser, and we have some of these in stock. Do we, Amanda? We do, right? Yeah. So we'll put a link, but one side is sand and it'll actually erase pen. And then this side is the white rubber, which is really great. So it's for ink and pencil, not just erasable ink, regular ink. So that's something to keep in mind. That's a really great tool. And when you are putting your words together, I like to do a mix of cursive and just printing. And so let's do the B, like B-E in printing, and then the kind can be big and in cursive. And we'll sort of take our time to space this out. So if we're starting with the B, we could kind of make that the 2 inches at the top here. So I'm measuring over 2 inches. And I know you guys don't have this sheet right in front of you in your kit, but again, you can download them, or you can just use a regular piece of paper and kind of go with what I'm kind of the advice I'm giving here. You'll notice between the two ends, like where the wreath is starting, it measures 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. So 2 inches right in the middle is good, from the 2 to the 4. I really don't want to go past that point. Otherwise, it's going to be imbalanced. And I encourage you, like, we're going to be erasing all of this pencil in the end. But it's important that you get that down. And especially if you're having trouble staying on the line, put a pencil line down and you erase it at the end. And then let's make it fairly evenly spaced. So let's do 2 inches between the 1, 2 is where our next line will start. And it can be the whole way across. But take the time, even if your sentence is like 5 different letters or 5 different words, you're going to want to put this you're going to want to rule out where you're going to be going with it. So we can also start with pencil for actually drawing our letters too. If you're worried that your flourish might not be on the mark, if you're worried that your lettering isn't great, or not quite where you want it to be, then pencil it in first. That way you can really see the spacing. And if you want it to be all capitals, if you want it to be a mix, I'm going to do a lowercase, but I'm going to make it the same size as the capital letter. And I know it's very hard to see on because it's like a light pencil drawing here, but B. And then let's really try to do something fancy with our K. So we could kind of come down and make a big flourish in there. But if we don't like it, we can always just erase it. And I don't like it, so I am going to erase it. It's kind of making the K like too skinny. The other way we could do is like go this way and come down and have our flourish come all the way around. I like that better. And we could have another flourish come up the top here. And then our entry stroke. And have my N kind of come up. And then we've got the D. I definitely have to do something cool with the D. Maybe I'll make the D kind of down and around. Now, I know it's hard to see. But if you like how it looks with the pencil, then you can go in and just like erase your line, or wait until the marker is down before you erase the line. But if you kind of like where it is, that's fine. Get a little bit of it off. And then you can come in with your good pen. So I'm going to do the B a little bit thinner than the kind. Now remember, my hand's coming off the page, following my pencil mark, but I'm not worrying if I'm like off. At the end of flourishes, sometimes it's nice to put like a little, like this, a little circle, kind of anchors it. And you could do it on this one too, on this one too. And then just make them match. Cute.
I love it.
You can have it. So make sure it's dry. And then just get rid of those pencil lines. and any of the letters, like if you went off the line anywhere. And if you use this kind of white eraser, you will not see that pencil line. Cute. So it's just a way of, you know, you could frame this, hang it up, just put a little stand, put it at your front door, put it on your fridge. It's just cute. There's really no other purpose apart from this brings me joy. And I think this is cute, and that is okay. It doesn't have to be like any sort of grand work of art. If there's a quote that you like that, you know, then make it yourself. If you came across it in, you know, a furniture store or in a little artsy store, you'd be like, oh, I love that. Like, I love the quote, always stay humble and kind, you know, from that Tim McGraw song. Love that quote. And I saw it one time and I thought, I could have made this years ago, you know? I know lyrics yeah. So God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. This was our wedding song. Yeah, oh, she's crying over there. But it's just practice. Like, this isn't gone anywhere. And look at this, best days of our life. And then this is, I think this was our wedding. This was our wedding. Oh, this was when we met. Our wedding day, when Violet was born, and then when the twins were born. Yeah. So, you know, you practice your numbers. And this isn't anything this is just a different version of the wedding song quote, like the lyrics. And then Ruby did some. Don't let today be a waste of makeup. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I did put makeup on today. Let's not let it be a waste. You know what I mean? So if you hear a good quote, and then look at this, years later, I'm coming back to this and going like, yeah, I love it. And that's a different version of it. And I added like some flourishes in here. So if you have some quotes, I'd encourage you to try laying them out, put your ruler marks down, and grab, if you've got a notebook, use the notebook in the kit, and you'll fill it with all kinds of different things. These actually went on to be stamps that we sold on HSN. Yeah. So yeah, just some fun there. You can do it with the watercolor. You can do it with some of those downloadable printables. The other place you can do it is if you're thinking about, if you love scrapbooking. In your kit, we gave you a bunch of scrapbooking stuff, and we're actually going to have a scrapbooking event coming up. It's a one-day event. It's only $20, and we're going to be scrapbooking. We're going to send you this whole kit. Yeah, it's only $20, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of different layouts just with this kit. You need to provide your own glue and scissors and those kinds of things, extra embellishments if you want. But the core is all going to be made from this kit here. And I'll be doing 4 different layouts. You can copy them or you can just scrap along with us. It's only $20. If you're local, you can come in store and do it that same day. If you are online, we will broadcast out and we'll do live Q&As in between. But mark that in your calendars. It's May 25th and it's $20. I know lots of you have orders coming from us. So you could just throw this in with it and you don't have to pay shipping then. So yeah, scrapbooking day, May 25th. And if you can't make it on that day, of course, they'll stay posted and you'll get the kit. But for now, let's do a little bit of scrapbooking where we're going to use our lettering. So we've got that great black and white kit that came in the kit that we can use our white pens with. And I went ahead and printed off some pictures of the kids. We went to the Grand Canyon at Christmas and it snowed. So we're all in blankets. And so there's the girls where we had to buy blankets and toques. And of course, my son wouldn't pose for any pictures. So I took a picture of him taking a picture. And I thought that would work perfectly with this kit because it's black and white. And there are some cool camera pages. And I liked that this had lines so that we could do some of our lettering on there. That's going to kind of look nice. And yeah, there's just like a whole bunch of different stuff in it. So I'm going to get going with, I'm going to do a double layout. And so you kind of have some options here. Maybe we need to zoom back a little bit. Do you know? Yeah. Yep. That's right. And just because now it's going to get bigger and I'm not going to be writing quite as much. There we go. And then we might have to focus a little at the bottom. Bear with us. So I'm thinking if I did a double layout, that means I could lay, like he could be on this side, like as though he's taking their pictures over here. Do you know what I mean? That'd look kind of cute. And when you're scrapbooking, you're always kind of trying to decide what your base paper is going to be. You could use the actual photos. You could use the backs if you wanted to use white instead. I'm going to start by fussy cutting. That just means cutting out with scissors some of these cameras, because I'm going to use those as little embellishments. And we are going to get to the brush lettering, but we may as well do the whole project here, because it's important to know that like lettering on its own, unless you're going to sort of become a calligrapher, which I'm guessing you're not, and write out, you know, royal wedding invitations, you're probably not going to use brush lettering on its own that often. And so you want to find a way to incorporate it into, let's say, card making, scrapbooking. Oh dear. Hi. Wrong camera. We'll stay on the overhead for a second. I'm just going to go and fix that one in front. If you find a way to incorporate it into some of your crafts, like card making, scrapbooking, this is where it's really going to come in handy. And you're really going to not have to spend money on extra embellishments. You can, you know, just be incorporating more of your own handwriting into your own projects. So that's why I've decided to do a project that, you know, in the end, the lettering is only just one part of it. And that's really what lettering is, usually just one part of the project. So I'd encourage you, if you've got some card making supplies or some scrapbooking stuff, to use some lettering in the journaling or something like that. So I'm just going to cut out 3 of these little cameras. You know, scrapbooking paper is often, like, you often don't use it all, and it always has like great designs on it. So if you cut them out, you can use them as embellishments, especially with a little bit of foam tape. All right. All right, first things first is we need to make some mats for these. You always want to like stack up your pictures a little bit. So first decide what you want your background pages to be. I think the black is just probably too plain. I think I should do it on the actual lined paper, because that way we can letter in. I could letter in the Grand Canyon or their names and put some little, you know, and then I can use the black mat and maybe some like the white from the back like this, and kind of layer it up. So I'll use these as my bases, and I'll use these as extras. Paper trimmers right here. Recently just broken right now by me. Not broken, just maimed. And come on, fixed. There we go. Okay. So I'm not being like uber specific here in terms of like measuring these out. I know they're 5 by 7. I probably should have, I just printed these on my printer downstairs, and I probably could have been more precise in terms of the actual measurements, like in measuring these, but I'm just lining the photo up and making it go like that. That way I know it fits, because for as much quilting and sewing as I do that requires measuring, I'm just so terrible at it. That way I know it's going to fit. Okay. The other thing that looks nice when scrapbooking is, especially on black paper, So let's say if I was to do it on this one, well, I'll use the scrap I already have, is tearing the paper. So if you were to know that it needed to be this size and this size, kind of give yourself a little bit of room, okay, to tear it so that the white kind of shows through on the edge. And like just having this idea, really, it's like, you know, now you get this great edge, you know, it didn't cost anything. You didn't have to have any special tools. That's good. So I'm going to do that for his, since he's like, you know, kind of, he'll like the more rugged one, I guess, kind of stereotyping here, but. And then maybe I keep these two sides crisp. See what I mean? And then when you're adding it to your page, you automatically get that, you know, extra border. And then the girls, you know, if they're just having a plain, you know, crisper backdrop, we could do that. You could use your Cricut or some other machine if you wanted to like give yourself a little edge. That would be fine too. I can pull maybe some colored paper out if we didn't want everything to be so black and white. But I'm just trying to stick with what we got in the kit. You also got stickers in the kit too. So we could use this lettering here to put on, you know, whatever you want your title to be. So if it was like, I could letter the Grand Canyon, or we could, I could letter Grand Canyon and then just put like 2024 in the stickers. That way it's a bit more of my writing and a little less of, you know, someone else's. The other thing we can do here is if we wanted to make this kind of come off the page is bring it down and then just trim right there. See how it doesn't fit? Just trim it, like no problem at all. Amanda, will you grab some foam adhesive from the drawer over there? Thank you. I'm getting so much stuff on the table here. I'm soon gonna lose track of where everything is. What else is new? So I can take the white, I have one of those new white lettering pens, or we can use the Jelly Roll pen here. And where did that white one go? I know it was set right here. Oh gosh, it's like literally right beside me. Thank you. So if I were to letter on here, luckily I kind of already have the lines. So I could do the, like T, and I'll do that in lowercase. And remember, this is the marker that appears white after it dries. And because this will be a double layout, maybe I could do Grand over here and Canyon over here. So and again, pencil, make sure we've got room. So if I'm going like, no, I don't like the, I know it's hard to see in the pencil, but I am drawing it in here first. And even though I know I have to thicken the downstroke, just knowing where I kind of want to go with the letters and making sure the spacing is okay, it's going to make sure that you don't waste your paper. You can see lots of erasing happening. I feel like I know it's hard for you guys to see, I'm sorry. How about the camera 4? Is there any... So you're seeing the white. Kind of looks blue there. It looks white in real life. And I could go over that one more time just to thicken it up and darken it up. Can you see any pencil strokes there? No. All right, well, I can see them here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll do it with, excuse me, this marker first. And maybe I'll have to fill it in with the other one. G. I know, it just appears. So it's starting to turn white now. And because this pen, like this is as thick as I can make it, I can go in and thicken this downstroke. Thicken it up. Sideways, so I'll thicken up this R. Just going over top of that white again. So we'll give that a few minutes to get light. And I'm going to go over and do the writing on Canyon. So if it's in the book, sort of like this, let's have it continue on the same lines here. And then I'll have to make sure that the girls' pictures can fit. So see. So I want to make sure. This is why the penciling it out, because making sure the lines are all. And to be honest, if I wanted to really kind of join it, I could make that flourish come up. That's kind of a good idea. Make this flourish come up all the way here. So I'm going to butt these right together. And then the white can come all the way up. And then that's where I'll start the C. Kind of linking them. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I got to pencil it out first. And now we've got a Y here I'd like to emphasize. All right, I'll get the white in there so you guys can start to see it come to life. Got to fill this in. So quiet. Just watching. All right, it's gonna jump to life in a minute here. With my other white Jelly Roll pen, which is just right here, we could thicken the downstrokes of this if we're wanting to really emphasize it a little bit more. And you'll do whatever title you want to do. Maybe you have a wedding. Maybe it's just a fun thing you did with your sister or your mother or your friend. It doesn't always have to be a special occasion, you know? Okay, so now it's sort of like a little more highlighted. I know it's hard to see on camera, but okay. I'll do I just put that lettering, the extra white, so that the other white sort of is the shadow, and this white is the main, so it sort of looks like a light. A little bit of chalk on the board. That's what it kind of looks like. Okay. So let's stick some of these things down. I'm using some foam squares here so that the photos stand off the page a little bit. And during our scrapbooking event, we'll be going through all kinds of different tips like this, and we'll send out a little supplies list ahead of time so that you can have some of these things. But the main kit, $20. We just wanted it to be like inexpensive, so as many people could try out the scrapbooking as possible, or beef up their own current collection. The kit that we're using is, ironically, from American Crafts, Jen Hadfield, and it's her homemade collection. Wasn't accidental. We like that. All right, just peeling off all these so we get the stickers on. The foam adhesives are double-sided. They stick on both sides, and they're like little pieces of foam. And so rather than using like glue, if you use the foam adhesive, then your page kind of sticks off the page a little, or your paper sort of sticks off the page a little bit. And so it gives it like just a little bit of lift on here. Add some more. I'd love to see what you create with your words. I like seeing everybody's practice photos coming into the group. Let me see if you make something, even if it's just a lyric or like, you know, a favorite quote. And even if it's just for practice, doesn't have to be beautiful yet, or it doesn't have to be your best work ever. All right. So I'll stick this on. Give that edge a little trim. That way it fits in the book still. Doesn't take away from anything. Let's do the stickers for the, and maybe I go like 20 and then 24 over here. When you're doing a double layout like this, the more things that can connect it together, that helps. So 20, and then 24. Probably should be. All right, let's get their photo on now. So let's give them, they could have the one could have floral as their mat. Let's watch her struggle with the paper trimmer. And if you don't have, I printed these on photo paper, just on my inkjet printer. If you don't have photo paper, just use regular printer paper. It's fine. You know, it doesn't have to be like an archivable photo for you to have like a nice layout. Okay, Ruby, you look cute. Violet, let's put Violet, what do we think? Polka dots or the stripes? Polka dots? Stripes? Stripes? Pretty bold. Yeah, sure. Yeah, she's a bold one. So we said May 28th, right? On in-store and online for the scrapbooking event? Or did we say May 20th? So if you're local, come on in. 25th. Really? That's the Saturday? All right, May 25th. Good thing I asked. May 25th, we'll send you the kit. It's $20, and then we'll broadcast out all of the different layouts as we make them. Okay, I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this one. Thin with the glue, thin, thin, thin. You don't want it rippling. I love how this all looks like it's done on the chalkboard. So we'll have Violet's lay flat, or it should be like Ruby's lay flat, and then Violet's comes down here. Maybe that looks better, because then you see more of the landscape. Okay, so Ruby's can get right onto the back, and we'll lift Violet's up with the foam squares. It's also a great way to layer things up, is having different heights, then you can tuck things into the back. And this is a very, very basic page, you guys. Like, we could do pages with all sorts of mixed media on the back, but we're just trying to show you a way that you can be using your lettering in your craft projects. What about camera, this one? Any good shot on there? No. Yeah, maybe we can get a little more. Just for, or this one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that has to come in a little. Yeah, 4 is probably better. Zoom in the other one. Yeah. No, if we're using 2 or the side shot there. All right, so lay this down, this one down. And then we've got our little cameras that we cut out. Can be little extra embellishments. A few foam squares behind those. I won't stick them on quite yet because I want to get some of the labels and the banners out. What else can we? So with these kinds of things, if you can find a way to open the bag first, then you'll be winning. So the little tags, you can kind of see them here. And then we've got like these little like banners. We could do a little something like right on the photo and label it like this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, with their name, their age, because we know they're this age right now, but when we look back at this in the album, you know, in 20 years, that's what's going to make us cry, you know? Like that kind of a, you know? And then, of course, we'll use our lettering. So we can come over to this one. And now we've got can't believe I even write those ages. If you guys have been watching me for a long time, you've seen me write many ages on things. So I'm trying to keep the letters on all 3 similar things similar. And then, you know, for things like the tags and things like this that can peek out, we can put little like messages like, I'll write it on before, like, it was snowing, you know, because these are little memory triggers. So it snowed. And that's just regular writing, but I can just go ahead and thicken the downstrokes so it looks a little cooler. And then if it peeks out the top, I'll show you on the 4. And then maybe since it's white, I could do a little. I think you have to make that sound whenever you're And you're drawing snowflakes, right? Okay, it snowed. Cute. Got those cameras on standby to kind of decorate what he's doing a little bit. You can also, layer these up 2 or 3 high if you really want it to stick out. I do think it's nice to actually cover up the edges of things sometimes. Glue on the back of this one. Since he's taking the picture. And then with some of the things like this, the tags, the put a little bit of journaling, even in the circle. So let's, I'm going to write blankets and toques because we had to buy these things, and then that'll be a little kind of memory. So maybe in the one that looks like, I'll go like this. Kind of follow the curves of the actual sticker. And I'll say maybe I have to say had to buy, because that's more had to buy. And this is just regular letters. And if there's a little bit of spacing, like I kind of, I'll just put a little like heart, no problem. We had to buy. And then here, let's do blankets. And this is just regular writing. I'm just going to thicken the downstroke. I'm not even going to color it in. I'm going to leave it open and kind of like a little messy like that. No problem. And then maybe I'll just go all around. Just fill it in with little dots here. And then here, toques. For the Americans watching, it's T-O-U. So T-O-Q-U, right? Is there 2 U's? No, T-O-Q-U-E-S. Is there a U there? Well, this is how we're spelling it. I think there might be a U there too. And again, just thickening the downstroke. And I'll keep these ones similar with the polka dots. And make sure it's dry. And this is like a little bit of, it's flagging the memories of what happened that day. And that's really what making these pages are about. This needs a little foam square. See, it's up on the picture, and I'll put a foam square underneath so that it is the same level. And then put a foam square behind these ones too. Even though they're sticky already, I want it to stick up off the page. Blankets, toques, tuck it in. Kind of get a look at it. Maybe I could put the last camera if I ever find it. It's probably just sitting somewhere. There it is. Like put the other camera there. The only thing about this is that it's facing the wrong way. It kind of feels like it needs to face this way, but I'm going to live with it. We could put it up here too. That would look actually, that maybe looks cuter. It's a foam square behind. So you can see like it doesn't take long and doesn't have to be super, super intricate with all sorts of painting and, you can put together a really cute memory book, a really cute scrapbook with not much at all. If you've got some other lines of, these kinds of stickers, you could put them along the bottom edge. I don't want to cover any of that nice Grand Canyon stuff. So the bottom of Ruby's feet here would be a good place. It was also freezing that day, so we could remember that. We could put the names of everybody who was there. It's so cold. Again, I'm just like thickening, I'll show you over here, thickening the downstrokes just on my regular messy writing, just to make it look kind of cool. It's so cold. And let's just follow along the ticket here, the shape. Because that's what makes chalk drawings sort of have their character, is that there's lots of white everywhere, So feel free to like follow along the edges of some of these stickers. I know in the kit we have some ribbon. You could do something like you know what I mean? Or just kind of right underneath. You could put tape runner or a little bit of glue, things that just like help bring things to life. We don't want to lose that cool ripping, but it also helps anchor it there a little bit too. See what I mean? All right, I'll stop for now because I think you're getting the idea that bringing your own lettering to stuff that you might normally buy, like a card or a photo album. Even just printing photos these days and then having an excuse to print the photos because you've got this great kit really does help immortalize these sort of memories. And, it's just, you get the joy again of the experience that you had when you bring it to life in this way. There's so many cool aspects that will bring you happiness. The printing off of the photos, you'll remember that time. The creativity that goes into making a layout, even as simple and basic as one like this. So I'd really encourage you to try something new like this. I'd love for you to join us during our scrapbooking day. If you kind of thought this was fun, for $20, we'll send you that kit and we'll do a whole bunch of different layouts. And that would be really cool, really, really fun to spend that day doing that together, memory building. So I encourage you to continue your stroke practice, your word practice, and of course, building a whole notebook full of, lyrics, favorite quotes, words, and then applying them to some of the crafting that you might already be doing or you take up something new. I appreciate you joining us for Brush Lettering Basics. If you have any other questions, please put them in the comments. And I hope to see you at another one of our homemade events. I always love having you guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.